Please, I'd love to. I expected not to mean that, but for some reason, I want to. Wait here, please. I nod as Lucia walks past me. Lucia, I forget how to pronounce it, or I don't know how to pronounce it still. I flip through my notes instead of staring after her, doing my best not to act entranced. Where did this girl come from? She's so sweet. She has been nice to us. The crunch of fallen leaves under her footsteps carries from the distance. Lucia stands closer than before. I brought you this. She reaches into her bag and extends her hand. So it's a blue rose? A single icy blue rose sits between her thumb and forefinger. I reach forward, but stop in hesitation. I do love the color. Where did you get it? It was left at Kate's grave. The gas escapes my lips and I shake my head. I can't take that. I might be remembering wrong here, but I think blue roses means something like sorrow or something. I can't take that. I'm gonna look it up. No, don't worry. Kate would want your father to have a flower. She doesn't like roses anyway. Lucia trails off, realizing what she said. Didn't. This is nice of her. Kate didn't like roses, but I can kind of understand that her sister didn't like a rose. I try my best to reassure her with my gaze as I accept the rose. Thank you. Flowers in the graveyard, do they just let them wilt there, or what do they do with them? I never understood. The present tense thing, it goes away. Don't feel like you need to jump to correct yourself. Alright, so I found it. A symbol of mystery is what blue roses mean. See, I always thought of blue meaning like sorrow or something, which might mean what the color blue means, which I'll probably look that up as well. Time will take care of it. Lucia nods silently in response. Lucia, I don't know. As I kneel against the cold earth to place the blue rose in my dad's grave, I realize how precious the flower is. I just want to go with Lucia from now on. The edges of the petals have barely begun to wilt. I feel Lucia's eyes on my back. Before turning toward her, I asked a question on my mind. Before that, I found the thing about the blue. So, I don't know why I thought sorrow was... Well, sorrow is on here as a negative meaning. Kinda. It has depressed as one of the negative meanings. But, then for positive means it has things like confidence and peace, and negative has like conservative, passive, and depressed. Anyway, Lucia? When was Kate's funeral? Yesterday. As I face Lucia, I want to ask her why she's here today. I want to know how she's doing. I want to hug her. I want to make her feel less alone, even if for a fraction of a second. It is nice of us. I want to give her what I never had. A moment of silence passes us by. I didn't think about this. The blue of the flower there reminds me of the blue in my headphones where the lights glow. But before I can ask Lucia to let me in, she breaks the silence herself. Are you still tired? I massage the back of my neck absentmindedly and laugh a little. Yeah. Did the dark circles give me away? Lucia giggles softly. No, your eyes are fine. That was kind of her to lie about. Yeah, she is being nice. I've looked in a mirror before. I can't believe I fell asleep. It's a little embarrassing. When you're tired, you're tired. Don't worry about it. Do you drink coffee? Yes. I don't, but Elle does, I guess. Let me buy you one. If you couldn't tell from my YouTube channel name, I'm more of a tea guy myself. You don't want to sleep through Halloween. So it's Halloween day. There's a great coffee shop in the Old Town district. Old Town, isn't it a little far? Halloween's like my favorite holiday, so I like playing these games. But that's also sad to hear her dad passed away on Halloween. That'd probably ruin the holiday. Did you drive here? No, I walked. Well, I don't mind giving you a ride. Let me take you. It's my treat. Elle's hair is longer than I thought because it goes down like a little past her waistline. Unless you have other plans. I don't, but... Well, even Lucia's hair is kind of long. Like, I don't know, my hair is longish, but not as long as these. A part of me remains hesitant. Like, mine just started to go down over my shoulder. Getting into cars with strangers isn't something my parents encourage, that's for sure. Yeah, parents usually don't tell you not to talk to strangers when you're a kid, but I don't know, how do you get to know people otherwise? Because anyone you talk to when you first meet them is a stranger. She seems harmless enough, I don't actually know her. Plus, today is Not exactly an easy day for me. Lucia quietly reads over my rigid stance. Without explanation, she grins and starts to giggle at me. Did you want to take a selfie together? What? You can send it to a friend. That way, if you go missing, they know exactly who to look for. I smile back there and subtly shake my head. Nah, it's fine. That is an interesting idea, though. I stick out my thumb in a hitchhiking fashion. I love the thrill of getting into a stranger's car. Lucia playfully rolls her eyes before winking at me. Buckle up, then. We're going for a ride. We head towards the road, walking past rows of headstones side by side. I didn't imagine I'd be leaving here with someone. The feeling of walking close to her is strangely comforting. I guess I always expected to be here alone. Even if I had a special person in my life, I wouldn't ask them to come here. It's hard to understand what it's like to visit this place, unless you're missing someone. Yeah, I can kinda understand that. I don't know. Like I said earlier, I kinda need to go back to the graveyard and visit some of the family I haven't visited in years. Like, with her, I never visited them after they were buried. The drive to the coffee shop is uneventful. Jesus, that's not even close to the right name. Lucia's car has heated seats, so I try my best to slowly warm my hands under my legs. She doesn't seem to notice and stays focused on driving. We chat about the weather, mostly. The heated seats I always like in this time of year, but anyway, I also don't like the weather this time of year because I don't like the cold. Once we reach the Old Town District, Lucia carefully navigates toward the last parking spot on the street. Ooh, I like the Halloween decorations, like the booze sign and the jack-o'-lantern and the cobwebs. If they didn't, I barely picked up on them saying it was Halloween earlier. I never would have figured out if it wasn't for the decorations. This is the place, and they got like candles on the tables. I haven't been here forever. When I go to places like this, I like to sit outside more than I do inside. Well, I don't go to cafes, but restaurants have a place to sit outside, just because I like being outdoors. After stepping out of the car, Lucia tugs gently on my sweater and guides me to the crosswalk. She's practically bouncing toward the cafe. That reminds me of little kids, like, leading people to, places they want you to go. Like, the last time after the funeral, when we all went back to my, uncle's house or whatever, one of his granddaughters, she, was playing or whatever, and she dragged me along with her to talk to her. Once we cross, we find ourselves at the front door. She's like 6 or 7, I think she's just in kindergarten. Despite the chilly weather, they still offer outdoor seating. The waitress steps aside to greet us with a smile on her face. Then that little cousin of mine, she also thought I was like 100 or something. She called me. Welcome, if you'd like to take a seat, I'll be right with you. So that made me feel great. As the waitress heads inside, I move to follow her. Lucia pulls on my sleeve again with an expectant grin. Let's sit out here, it's more private. Yeah, see? She even likes sitting outside too. As we take our seats outside the cafe, I can feel the energy of the cemetery fall away. That's a good thing. Our table is vibrantly decorated with Halloween-themed trinkets and candles. That would be cool to see. This is so cute. I can't argue with that. She definitely chose a festive spot. The street is bustling with ghouls and witches. Even our waitress is dressed up. Wonder what the waitress dressed as, because we can't see it. Happy Halloween! Can I interest you in one of our spooky specials? Lucia's eyes light up immediately. I'd be curious as well. Ooh, what are they? The waitress grins, realizing she's hooked Lucia in. Today we have our pumpkin cheesecake paired with any of our fall special drinks for $8.99. If you're craving something warm and hearty, we also have butternut squash soup with one of our fresh baked biscuits. So about the cheesecake, I love cheesecake and I love anything pumpkin. So pumpkin cheesecake would be right up my alley. I never had butternut squash soup, but I like fresh baked biscuits too, so that could be nice as well. But if I was there, I'd probably choose the cheesecake. Lucia squeals with delight. I love cheesecake. Can I get the pumpkin cheesecake with a pumpkin spice latte, please? Never tried a pumpkin spice latte because, as I said earlier, I don't drink coffee. But every time I had coffee, it was just either black or just black coffee with milk in it. So nothing special like that. I guess she likes pumpkins. After jotting down Lucia's order, the waitress gaze starts towards me. Yeah, see, me and Lucia are basically on the same page, but even order the same stuff. What would you like? Pumpkin cheesecake sounds fine. And to drink? I rack my brain for anything other than the pumpkin spice latte. Sorry, what are your other fall drinks? Maple pecan and chai lattes. So I don't know what chai lattes are, but the maple pecan one sounds really good. Like, I love maple stuff, too. Ooh, maple. Lucia raised her eyebrows and whispered casually across the table. Psst, the maple pecan sounds super yummy. Yeah, see, me and Lucia are on the same page again. I can't help but chuckle. Okay, I'll get the maple pecan latte. The waitress nods and leaves with a smile. Like the music as well. Barely a minute passes before our waitress rushes back to the table. The drink looks good, though I can barely... It's kind of hard to tell the color behind the chat bar. Also, I never noticed Lucia's star earring, but that's pretty cool as well. Here are your lattes. Thanks so much. I'll bring your cheesecake over as soon as it's ready. Lucia peers at me with a curious glimmer in her eyes. Do you think it's too hot to sip? I'm sure it's fine. I lift the cup to my lips and decide to take a swing. Yikes! My throat burns, so I try desperately to clear it inconspicuously. I do my best not to sputter on Lucia as I reply. It's quite warm still. She giggles softly. You didn't need to be my lab rat. Totally not warm. Just trying to be helpful. Yeah, I'd probably do the same thing if I was in that situation. Lucia raises her cup and takes a careful sip. It's not that hot. Were you trying to scare me? Well, it is Halloween. How does she not scald herself? Magic. Does she have no sense of temperature? Maybe that's why she chose outdoor seating on this chilly day. I mean, I'm usually always warm. Even when I'm just t-shirts and the shorts, I'm always warm. Do you like celebrating Halloween? I fall there unsure of how to explain myself. I used to. Me personally, I love to celebrate Halloween, but there's not much I can do for it, or like I'm too old to trick or treat, and no one has Halloween parties around here. So I just watch horror movies or shows. Like this year I watched Midnight Mass. I used to. Lucia realized what she's asked. Sorry, I can't believe I forgot that today is. Oh yeah, today was the day of her father's anniversary. I forgot about that too. No apology necessary. I try my best to steer the conversation with a lighter tone in my voice. I do like Halloween, by the way. Hey, me too. I just haven't done much other than hand out candy for a few years. I can't even do that. No trick-or-treaters comes to our house. The kids in my neighborhood love my place and know I always have tons of treats. Are you the ones that give out full-size candy bars, or you give out the mini ones? You only hand out candy, you haven't dressed up? No, but I did like that part when I was in high school. I like to dress up too, but like I said, it's kind of weird to dress up at home when doing nothing. Great! I'm going to a costume party tonight. What do you think? Spooky or sexy? Huh? What kind of costume should I go with? I have a closet full of options. That's a hard choice. Like, spooky's always a great option for a Halloween, but it's also hard to say sexy one that come off as weird. I can't decide, so I'm always going to do what I always do, and I can't make a decision. And that's flip a coin. So give me a second here. Alright. Heads is going to be spooky, and tails is going to be sexy. And it landed on tails. So I guess we're going with sexy. Sexy costumes are fun. She winks at me playfully. How did I know you'd suggest that? Fighting back a goofy grin, I bite my cheek hard. A flash of pain dances across my face. Elle, are you okay? I'm fine. I was thinking about what costumes you might have, and that would make it even weirder. Why would you say that? That's why I was worried about saying sexy. I was worried about embarrassing herself. I somehow managed to embarrass myself more than I feared. Lucia politely ignores the comment instead of teasing me. Yeah, see, now we can see the color of the drink, and that does look pretty good. So, did you want to come to the party with me? I was going to go alone, but it would be great to bring up. Lucia's words drift away from me. My limbs stiffen as if I'd suddenly been plunged into icy water. A party on Halloween. That night. He went out that night. I was the one that called him. I bite my cheek, desperate to escape the coursing river of guilt. No. No freaking out. Not now. I dig my nails into my palm, trying to snap myself away from the echo of that Halloween party. So, something happened at a Halloween party that had to do with her dad dying. Okay. Focus and breathe. The idea of rejecting Lucia hurts, but I can't go with her. The voice of my therapist saying trauma trigger rings in my ear. I promised I'd stop being self-destructive, and I can't risk Lucia seeing me like that. I can't. Not tonight, at least. The ghost of that distant night disappears as quickly as it arrived. I'm at the cafe with Lucia. I'm okay. Lucia grips the handle of her mug and spins it absent-mindedly. I thought you didn't have plans. I have a date later. Sorry that I didn't mention it. Oh no. Did we upset her? A frown escapes Lucia. A date? I nod. Yep, with a bowl of leftover candy. Oh, she's happy again. Leftover. Oh. Relief washes over her. She's into us? If it isn't obvious already, I'm painfully single. It's not obvious. Really? Of course it isn't. You're so pretty. She's pretty too. For a second, my heart skips a beat. Wow. I realize how rude I might be coming off. I mean, thanks. We break eye contact and struggle to continue. That's one way to snap back into reality. Come on, keep it up. So, what's it like being a florist? My ploy to redirect the conversation is painfully evident. Lucia doesn't brush me off, luckily. I don't know much about being florists, but if they're the ones that also, like, dye the flowers for, like, when people get them dyed to match their stuff on prom or whatever, that is a pretty cool thing. That'd be fun to learn how to do. My family has owned a flower shop for 3 generations, so it's pretty natural for me. It'd also be cool to own a flower thing. I think a family, business, I think 3 generations means her grandmother or grandfather, depending on who started it. What about you? Are you a student? Wait, what was the last message? Oh yeah. What about you? Are you a student? No, I graduated from a tourism and hospitality program. I work at the Spring Dream Suites. That sounds interesting. It's really not. My job is to fend off bad reviews, basically. Lucia laughs, and I'm afraid it's forced. Do you like to travel? I personally love it. Like, even when I was home, living away from home down in Kentucky, I loved it there, and I didn't even want to come back home. Like, I never got homesick or anything. I only came back because I couldn't afford our dorms anymore. Or when I went on trips for competition, I loved those as well. I haven't really traveled since I was a kid. I'd give anything to be traveling again, but if I ever had a chance, I'd love to work at a resort. I'd love to work at a job that travels around. I don't know any like that in my industry I want to go into, just to see what it's like to live in a warm climate. Count me in. I'm always down to book a room at an island resort. I promise I'll leave a good review too if you get me a discount. I can't help but giggle. I'll do my best. I'm curious about your job. When did you join your family's business? They started training me when I was young. I spent plenty of summers playing my grandmother's garden. She started the business with my grandmother. So yeah, I was right. It was one of her grandparents, but like she said, it was her grandmother there. It's beautiful. They have a huge property out in the countryside. The only thing I'd done with family members close to that was with my grandmother. I like to help her bake around the holidays like this time of year. I loved putting together bouquets for my mom when I was little. My grandma would help me pick them so they always turned out perfectly. She called it my training. Her plan worked though. I'm running the business with my parents now. Yeah, when I was a kid, I would love to bake with my grandma. I think that's what got me to like baking in the first place. My grandparents are retired, but they still held out when they're short-handed. That's nice of them, though. Lucia's gaze seems to intensify. It looks like she's looking right through me. Is she alright? She notices my concern and smiles reassuringly. Sorry, I was thinking about the summers as a kid. Yeah, you can't tend to space out when you reminisce. I can still picture the day that my sister made a flower crown out of daisies. She put it on my head and called me a princess. It was just a game to Kate, but she clears her throat. That was the day I fell in love with flowers. I'll never forget it. Yeah, that seems like a memory you would keep, Lucia, especially in her situation. That was a vulnerable moment, or not situation, circumstances. Her hands tremble ever so slightly. She must have been nervous to share that memory with me. That's so special. Hello, ladies. Here's your pumpkin cheesecake. That's a way to interrupt. Before I can finish, our waitress interrupts. We wait for her to sit down and place of cutlery. Can I get you anything else? But I mean, at least the waitress is pretty quick on getting the stuff to us. It sucks when service can take forever sometimes. I think we're good, thanks. The waitress steps away and heads inside. Like the last time I was at this local diner or whatever, it took forever to get our food. And then when it finally got to us, they messed up my stuff. Which I don't know, I can kind of understand being slow on busy days. Like I've worked in kitchens. But it still sucks when it's like that, you know? The waitress steps away and heads inside. I fiddle with my notebook and flip through the pages while Lucia sips her drink. Elle, can I ask you a question? I smile, eager to start chatting again. Go ahead. But that's about all the time I have for this part, I think, so I'm going to end it there. Sorry to end on a cliffhanger again, but goodbye for now.